Mike Vandervoort with another HR history story. I'm in my office in Dallas several years ago, sitting there minding my own business, doing some work on the computer. My phone rings, I pick it up. Hello, Mike, may I help you? And it's an accountant whose name I'll say is Bob. And Bob says to me, Mike, I was wondering if you could tell me if I'm married. And I stop and I look at my phone and I look at my phone again. And then after thinking of many witty responses, I decided to be professional and ask Bob a probing question. So I say, Bob, wouldn't you know better than I if you were married? Because it seems to me you'd have a lady at home that you were married to. And he has a quiet moment on his end of the phone and he says, well, there's more to the story. So I say, well, why don't we get together and talk? To make a long story short, Bob has trying to get a 401k loan in a community property state, and in order to get the loan out of his 401k, he has to have the signature of his lovely bride, who has returned to Fiji from whence she came a couple years before. When I get the full story out of Bob, I find out that Bob went to Fiji, negotiated a wedding price for his bride, married her under Fijian law in front of her father, and brought her back to Dallas, where she lived for 2 years in whatever sort of wedded bliss they were able to achieve, until it became too much for her. And as Bob put it, she was unable to adjust to the U.S. culture. So we went to a bar and we talked about it, and we decided that it was a good time to send her home. So I sent her back to her father. But before she left, Bob tells me, I got her to sign her mark, and that's what he said, on the back of a napkin, saying that we agreed that we were no longer married. So here was the dilemma. Bob wanted a 401k loan. He had been married in Fiji, although not in the U.S. He had come home. He had added his wife to his insurance. He had carried her as a dependent, and they had resided together for over 2 years, for all intents and purposes, creating a common law marriage. So Bob now faces the dilemma of not being able to get a loan unless he can get a signature from his bride, who apparently was not even able to do that, but he didn't know where she was. The end result was that Bob had to file for divorce in court, publish in ads a notice to his wife that he was divorcing her, and that if she had issues, she needed to show up and respond. And he had to wait 6 months for his 401k loan. So I guess the lesson to that story is be careful what you buy when you go to Fiji.